Hello, my name is Paul Thompson. I'm part of the packaging team, and I'm standing in front of our latest DynaSmart. And I'd like to continue our progress from printing through to die cutting, where we've seen this particular job being printed on the Speedmaster XL106 and die cut on the PowerMatrix 106 CSB, with obviously cutting, stripping and blanking. So the first off, the machine is actually already set and it's running a four-corner job, and we'll show that running through the automatic packing machine, the DynaPacker, before changing over to the straight line carton, complete with inline inspection and braille. But firstly, I'd like to talk a little bit about the DynaSmart. The DynaSmart is part of our range of 4 folder gluers, which starts with the DynaGo, moves on to the DynaEasy, which gives us the abilities then for straight line, lock bottom, and also 4 and 6 corner, before moving on to the DynaSmart and then onto the DynaX range of machines, which is our most sophisticated folder gluer with all sorts of modular constructions, including a turning module. On top of that, we also have peripherals around that machine in terms of semi-automatic packing machines, fully automatic packers, which we'll show you later, and also pre-feeders and stack turners. Now the DynaSmart, as very much of a brief overview, comes in 3 versions. It comes in an A model, a B version, and also a C version. The A being the most basic, really suitable for straight line and lock bottom cartons. The B, we then put in a combination fold module, which makes the make-ready times for lock bottom cartons reduced, because we're now dedicating the lock bottom attachment into that particular module. So that gives us a little bit more flexibility and also enables us to fully utilize the 3-meter pre-fold. The C version also has the combination fold module in there, but it now also has 4 and 6 corner facilities, so we have rear folding shafts mounted into that section. In addition to that, we can add lots of other little bits and pieces. So things like the inline inspection module, a braille module can be added as complete modules, and because of the length of the machine and the open construction of the machine, it also enables us to add items like a leaflet inserter. Because it's very open, we have the space to do that, and we don't then take away some of the facilities within the machine. We still have a pre-fold section and we still have the combination fold section, which we can utilize for the folds that we require. As we said before, it is a modular construction, which enables us to pick and choose perhaps which delivery conveyor we would like. We can have a standard delivery conveyor, or we can then extend that delivery conveyor to either 5 meters or 7 meters. In terms of flexibility of the machine and the carton styles that we can produce, we mentioned the basic styles, but when we start to consider other items, we have a very lightweight paper pocket or envelope here. We also have things like tapered cartons, so we can utilize the aligning station just behind the feeder by putting in a center carriage. We also can produce document wallets, so something like this. Very small little lock bottom cartons, and then sleeves for all sorts of things. This particular case is a chocolate box wrap. And very small cartons. The minimum size of this machine goes down to a 45 millimeter open blank width. So when that carton is folded, that's 20 millimeters. And you can do that on all of our standard equipment. So right the way through from the Go through to the DynaX, we can handle those tiny little cartons. So when we talk about some general things, we talk about performance on the machine. The belt speed of the particular machine as a standard is 450 meters a minute, but we now have an upgrade also, which will take that to 600 meters a minute, and that will be called our DynaSpeed range, which when combined with the packer and also a pre-feeder, obviously you're going to get very high output from that. The length of the modules of 3 meters in the pre-fold and 3 meters in the final fold gives us lots of flexibility. It gives us space to add additional folding modules. So things like Z-fold modules, small combination fold modules, enables the operator to set the machine very quickly and very precisely without having to mount components down the length of the machine. The modules themselves are all independently servo drive, and we can drive the modules during the make-ready process. So we have 2 systems for aiding the operator in the make-ready. We have DigiSet, which gives him the opportunity to put the blank dimensions into the screen before going down to the individual digital indicators and winding the carriages all to 0. Once they're at 0, he knows that the position of the carriages are in the correct place. With AutoSet, we go one step further. He puts the dimensions of the blank into the computer, and then by pressing the servo motors, can then adjust the position of the carriages automatically. The beauty of that system is when you have a very long machine, you're adjusting a little bit more in one position. And then when you're standing there seeing what you're adjusting, it also enables you to leave a lot of components in the machine without having to take them out. Telescopic roller bars are a commonplace in the machine. We have the ability to move those roller bars in any position. We can also shorten them so we can create space within the machine to make some special folds. So really, in summary, for a value of the machine, we have high productivity, high flexibility, we've reduced the setup times, and we also have the highest safety standards in the market. So that's a very brief introduction of the DynaSmart. And with this, we would like to take it a little bit further and show you step by step through the machine, features and developments that we've made, and also during that process we'll carry out a complete changeover, and we'll also highlight the features on the Dynapacker. So we're now going to show you a complete make ready from the four corner tray to the straight line carton. So we'll remove the four corner cartons from the feeder. Then we need to carry out several stages before we can actually make the movement in the machine. We're starting at the feeder, we just remove the backstops. We'll lift the feeder sidewalls and loosen the feeder gates. Remove the top carriage and loosen it in various sections of the machine. And now we concentrate on the combination fold module. So the first thing we need to do is remove the elements that were required for the four corner carton. We need to take those out of the machine. So really it comes down to taking out the rear folding hooks, the hold down bars, the pickup hooks and the brushes and the plows. And you'll see here the beauty of the combination fold module, that all these elements are in the same location. So we're not walking up and down the machine removing elements, we are confined to one specific area. The rear folding hooks are very easy to remove. We just split the coupling and then we can take them out of the machine. These are a couple of snap-in support bars so it stops the 4-corner or 6-corner carton sagging in the middle. These are the elements he's taken out of the machine which specifically relate to the 4-corner carton. I think it's also important you notice here that he's only used one specific Allen key, so not multiple tools for different attachments to be removed. Because of the design of the machine, it gives him the ability to make the adjustments and take the elements out of the machine just from the operator side, rather than having to walk around to the drive side. So now the components have now been removed. Just prepare the rest of the machine before we program for the next job. This machine has auto set on there, so he will set this up as a brand new job, so he will need to enter certain dimensions into the system. The first thing he does is select which carton profile he wants to run. He'll then tell the system whether he wants to pre-fold the third crease line, and he'll also tell it whether he wants to align the carton to the left or the right hand side. He will then take some measurements and then add those to the system, mainly the length of the carton, the width of the carton, and a couple of panel widths are normally enough to give you the information you need to set the machine to. This information will then be sent down to the digital indicators and the motors. He'll accept the settings and then send it down to the system. You can obviously restore that information into the system to recall for the next time you want to run the job. This particular machine has Auto Set Plus, which is the little white buttons here on the side of the machine, and that means he can make the adjustments to the carriages actually at the section by section. If he doesn't have Auto Set Plus, he can make the adjustment via the handset. Now the beauty of Auto Set is that more sections move at the same time rather than the individual digital indicators. So the make ready therefore is a little bit quicker. But as you notice, he can only set the machine section by section where he's actually standing in front of the machine so he can see what's going on. That way we enable ourselves to leave as much in the machine as possible, and we don't have to clean the machine completely out before we make a make ready. This particular machine, as we said before, has Braille module and also inline inspection. As you can see, we'll just bypass those with the normal straight line box as we did with the 4-corner carton. He now comes back to his feeder. The basic setting is already made for him. Now he has to set the final positioning of the feed belts. As you can see, these are very easily declamped, moved, and then locked back up again. So now the feeder belt carriages are locked in position. You need now to move his sidewalls and also his feeder gates. Just drop the sidewalls. Now he's just checking the thickness of the carton to the feeder gate, so we ensure we only feed one blank at a time. Now with the feeder pretty much set, he can load the cartons in, reposition the backstops, and now he'll begin to inch the carton down the line. Just move the braille module out of the way so it doesn't cause us any concerns when we're not using it. He's now adding the first crease pre-fold plow. This is also where we would mount the code reader if required. And as he goes, he will lock down then the top carriages. Because we're now running a straight line carton, the light guards are deactivated automatically. Because we programmed the machine to make a third crease pre-fold, the carriages are now in the correct position for that already, so he just needs to adjust the variation of the pre-fold. He's now going to move the bottom glue pot. Check the position of his final fold. Make his adjustment to the trombone section so that we stack it nice and securely onto the delivery conveyor. In the screen now, you will be setting up the kicker and also the speed of the delivery conveyor. We run a few cartons through and make sure that they are stacking properly. It's pretty much the make ready done on the folder gluer, so now we move on to the Diana packer. So on the previous job we were running the 4-corner tray, which means that the packer was completely in line. Now because we're running a straight line carton, we need to change the orientation of the straight line carton. So we pack on crease line 2. So as you look down the machine, we use the turning station on the left hand side of the machine, so we're turning the carton from left to right. And he needs to adjust then the backstop where the carton is put into the buffer zone. Because the packer also has DigiSet, he will now go to the packer. Again, as it's a new job, he will program the packer in terms of the case size and the individual cartons that are going into the case, the number of cartons going into the case. And the height of the travel of the stacking arm. That's the case programmed. Now he'll do the carton. So at the same time as programming this, he'll also program how many rows and how many layers the carton needs to be packed in. Then he has to make some minor adjustments to the actual filling conveyors, the 2 sets of red belts there. So he's moving those sideways, so it's a different case size to the previous job, and obviously the packer is in a slightly different position to previously, and the filling arm itself also needs to be moved across. Because with DigiSet, all he needs to do is wind all the carriages then to 0, and then we know they're in the correct position. And the rest of the information is sent automatically through the computer system in terms of layers, rows, the stack height, the packing arm. We need to put a few extra cases on there so we can complete the system. Because of the 4-corner carton previously running straight through the packer, we now need to move the packer sideways. And now he'll adjust the turning station and the buffer zone. The beauty of the rail system on the floor is it also enables us to combine the packer with more than one machine, depending on your workload. And now with the packer in position, he now needs to set the shingling roller, the individual carton. And in the buffer zone here, he's just adjusting the width of the buffer zone, and we need to make sure it's tight enough to control it, but loose enough to drive the cartons through. And shingle nicely before it goes up into the arc and into the case. So we now need to make sure that we can control the cartons as they come through the stream. So we have a hold but down bar here and a plate to make sure they're guided into the turning station correctly. It's a little guide roller just to make sure the cartons don't jump up as they deposit into the buffer zone. You see there with the control unit on the side of the buffer zone, we can also control the folder gluer, so we can regulate the feeder on and off, and also increase the machine speed. So now we're looking for a continual shingle of cartons coming through the folder gluer and into the packer. This particular machine has automatic case control, so the cases are driven around the packer automatically. So once the case is filled, it will be discharged, and that gives the operator enough time to put in a layer card if required, or to close the box and push it into a palletizing area. Because it's automatically controlled, it also means it's very simple to combine with case erectors and case sealers and discharge conveyors and fully automated palletizing systems.
So there we have our finished product. We've shown you printing on a Speedmaster XL106. We've shown you die cutting on a Power Matrix 106 CSB with cutting, stripping and blanking. And we've now shown you folding and gluing on a Dynasmart version C. This particular machine is an 80, but there's also a 115 available. And in addition to that, we've applied Braille on the first panel, and we've also quality inspected the whole carton. So every single carton that's come through that machine now is of the same high quality standard that your customer expects it to be. So thank you for watching our videos, and hopefully you've enjoyed them. The machines are here in Hall 11 all year round, so hopefully one day we'll see you out here to show you in more detail the machines that we have available. Thank you for watching.